Think pain is just the hurting part. It's not. The worst part is when the whole day starts collapsing around it. Sleep gets worse, your patience gets shorter, tiny things get weirdly expensive. And if you handle it badly, you don't just lose today, you donate tomorrow too. So this is what actually helps me on bad days. Not a miracle cure, garbage, not fake positivity, just the real stack I use when pain is trying to run the whole show. I'm going to walk you through what actually helps me function when pain spikes. Medication, meditation, tech, routine, and the weird one that matters more than people think, humor. And I'll show you the other side too, the stuff that makes bad days worse. On a bad day, I usually know early. Maybe sleep was trash. Maybe the flare started even before I got moving. Maybe the body already feels irritated before the day has even begun. And that's what makes bad days dangerous. Because pain itself is one problem, but the reaction to the pain, that's usually where the damage multiplies. The temptation is to fight it like you can out-attitude it. I've done that. I still do it sometimes, and it usually goes badly. So the first thing that actually helps me is not a product. It's this. I stop trying to be a hero. That sounds small, but it changes everything. Because on bad days, ego is expensive. If I get one decent hour and start acting like I'm fully back, pain usually waits 5 minutes and sends me an invoice. Bad days punish ego fast. Medication is part of the system, for me. Not a whole answer, not magic, not the thing that suddenly makes the day normal again. It's more like reducing the chaos, enough that the rest of the plan has a chance. That's the difference, I think, that people miss. Relief and recovery are not always the same thing. Sometimes the win is not I feel amazing. Sometimes the win is I turn down the volume enough to think. And on a bad day, that matters. Medication helps me create a little space between me and the pain. Not perfect space, not total space, just enough space to make better decisions. That's huge, because if pain gets too loud, decision making gets stupid fast. Everything feels urgent. Everything feels heavier than it is. Everything starts costing more energy than it should. So medication, for me, is part of the stack. But it lowers the noise enough for the rest of the stack to work. Now, meditation is probably the part people misunderstand the most. I'm not talking about floating into enlightenment while pain politely leaves the building. That's for my sister, an Elvis fan. I'm talking about turning down the panic, because pain has a way of recruiting everything around it. Tension, frustration, fear, spiraling, that whole internal here we go again feeling. And once that starts feeding the pain, the day gets smaller. So for me, meditation is less about becoming some peaceful monk and more about keeping my nervous system from acting like the bar at last call. That's the real use. It helps me interrupt the pile on because I suddenly feel amazing, but because I stopped adding fuel. That's the big difference. Sometimes pain is the first hit. Then the mind shows up with a chair and makes it worse. Meditation helps me stop that second part. Tech. Tech helps because bad days punish friction. That's one of the biggest things I've learned. On a good day, little inefficiencies are annoying. On a bad day, they're expensive. If a piece of tech saves effort, saves movement, saves decisions, saves setup time, or gives me some control back, that matters way more than people think. Because pain isn't just about intensity, it's also about how many extra obstacles the day puts in your path. So I look at tech pretty simply. Does it reduce friction? Does it reduce guesswork? And does it help me conserve energy? Does it make the environment easier to handle? If yes, it matters. I'm not interested in hype. I'm interested in whether something helps me function. That's the test. Not, is it cool? Not, is it trending? Not, does it sound advanced? Does it actually help on a bad day? That's the only question I care about.
Why don't bars serve logic? They can't handle the proof. Ha! Oh, that's stupid. All right, back to work.
And then there's the one that people might not expect to matter as much as it does. Humor. Humor does not fix pain. It does not cure anything. It does not erase anything. I know that. But pain is greedy. It wants the body, the attention, the mood, the identity, the whole room. And humor is one of the ways I know how to push back and say, no, you don't get all of that. That matters, because once pain becomes the only voice in the room, the day gets darker fast. Humor gives me something back. Perspective, timing, and breathing room. A little bit of self back. Sometimes that's the difference between surviving the day and mentally sinking inside it. That's why the jokes matter. That's why bar logic matters. Not because pain is funny, because sometimes if you don't laugh, pain starts acting like it owns the building. The other thing that helps me on bad days is routine. Not because routine is glamorous. Routine is actually kind of boring. But boring is underrated. When pain is chaotic, bad days already come with enough unpredictability. So anything I can make automatic helps. Drink water. Reduce unnecessary decisions. Keep the basics in place. Lower the demand. Stop turning one bad stretch into 10 extra problems. Routine helps because it keeps me from negotiating with pain all day. I don't want every small choice to become some dramatic internal meeting. I want the basics handled because every decision costs something on a bad day. And if I waste it on energy on avoidable decisions, I usually regret it later. Now the other side. What makes a bad day worse? First, trying to win. That one gets me all the time. You get a little momentum, a little hope, and suddenly you start spending energy like you found a coupon code for the nervous system. It's a bad idea. Second, pretending I'm fine. Sometimes that's pride. Sometimes that's habit. Sometimes I just don't want pain to dictate the day. I get that. But pretending usually delays the adjustment I should have made earlier. Third, stacking too much. Too many experiments. Too many changes. Too much noise. Too many things at once. On bad days, simple usually wins. And fourth, mentally turning the day into a verdict. This one is dangerous. A bad day is not proof that everything is broken forever. It feels like that sometimes, but that feeling lies. If I started treating one rough day like a final judgment on my whole life, the mental crash gets worse than physical one, I promise. So what actually helps me on a bad day? Medication helps. Meditation helps. The tech helps. Routine helps. And humor helps. Because not any one of these saves the day, but because together they reduce the damage. That's the real goal for me. Not perfection, not pretending, not becoming some heroic version of myself for the camera. Just reducing the damage. Keeping some control and making sure pain doesn't get the last word. That's what a good day system is, really. Not a miracle. A way to suffer less stupidly. And the next thing I want to talk about is the part people don't talk about enough. The hidden cost of pain flare. Because pain doesn't just hurt, it changes interests. That is how I try to suffer a little less stupidly. But I know I'm not the only one paying this kind of interest. Head down to the pinned comments right now and tell me what the one thing you absolutely have to drop when a bad pain flare hits. Drop your strategy below, because what works for you might be exactly what someone else in this community needs to hear today. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.